We need to realize how close this clock is to getting toward the midnight hour. The events have picked up such a pace and are going to continue. It's just like the Bible forewarned, that in the last days it will be like the beginning of birth pains. We are far beyond the beginning of birth pains. I worked very hard on the Intelligence Committee to try and keep up with what was happening in the world. It got to such a crescendo, I can hardly keep up with it anymore.
The last time we saw a 2-minute jump forward in this doomsday clock was back in 2002, just after 9/11.
Birth pangs are very close together, they're very intense now, and we are literally watching month by month the speed move up to a level we've never seen before.
Based on their observations, the members of the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists Science and Security Board find conditions in the world to be so threatening that they are moving the hands of the doomsday clock 2 minutes closer to midnight. It is now 3 minutes to midnight.
This dark warning from the Bulletin of the Atomic Sciences. Yes, people, the doomsday clock is a real thing. Threat level midnight, now just 3 strokes away.
Masters, explain our times. Believers need to get our lives right with God, and then we intercede. We intercede and intercede, and then not despair, but rejoice that we get to be living in the most exciting time in history. Prophets said we look to the future. We long to see those days and live in those days. Why? Because it's the return of a soon and coming King.
3 years ago, scientists said the clock was 5 minutes to midnight, and this recent move jumped right past 4 minutes and lurched us into the 3-minute warning.
We, in our lifetimes, could see Jesus Christ returning to earth. Jesus Christ is coming back. This is one of the most exciting times in history. We need to be exactly watching the tenor of the times, be observing, and look up how redemption draweth nigh. These are wonderful times, but we see the destruction. But this is the destruction that is foretold.
And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness, and the moon into blood, before the great and the terrible day of the Lord come. Begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. Behold the fig tree and all the trees, when they now shoot forth, ye see and know of your own selves that summer is now nigh at hand. So likewise ye, when ye see these things come to pass, know ye that the kingdom of God is nigh at hand. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass away till all be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. when ye see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, There cometh a shower, and so it is. And when ye see the south wind blow, ye say, There will be heat, and it cometh to pass. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth. But how is it that ye do not discern this time?
As you know, I opened the newscast with a report about the Supreme Court ruling concerning same-sex marriage. Forgive me for laughing. It's just that, there's so many ridiculous things going on. But I opened with that story and how that is going to bring judgment against America from Abba Father Yahweh, Elohim. How do you see this action affecting our country? And take some time. Tell us how you view it in terms of Bible prophecy.
That's a big one, Alan. I find it very interesting that in reading recently I've been reading the book of Yashar, or Jasher, and in chapter 19 it really goes into, it's sort of a magnifying glass into what we read about Sodom and Gomorrah. And it turns out that what you see in that chapter is that it was the judges who had, they upheld laws that were a total corruption in those cities surrounding, and really sick stuff going on. And it's just so interesting that 5 judges out of 9 decided to blanket the United States of America with a law, a judgment on what would happen for all the states, which should have their own sovereignty to make up their own decisions about these laws, that same-sex marriage was going to be the law of the land. And that's totally just detestable. It's an abomination to the Father Yahweh. And he doesn't stand for that for very long. We've seen that in the scriptures. Once it gets to a certain point, it's over. That's it. It's the other day when this all happened, the day that it happened, I went outside and there was fireworks and explosions and all kinds of stuff happening. People were celebrating this. You know, I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area, as you said, and my spirit was just brought down so far. I was just really upset about this because it just seems like it's just this pride. They're just the pride, and we see that in 2 Timothy. Just that the lawlessness and the pride in the last days would be like this. Gay pride, all this stuff. They just want to put it in our faces. A nation that was founded on Christian principles, on the scriptures, on the words of our Savior and his Father. And
is it Timothy where it says, the pride on their faces is, boldly shown? In love with the world, really being blinded by it, forgetting any kind of a relationship with our Creator, Abba, Father, Yahweh, and His beloved Son, Yeshua, our Messiah, who paid for all of our sins. We can see the last days, the darkness is getting thicker. People don't see, they're watching, young people are watching shows like The Walking Dead, and they think it's really cool. And how can that be? It's hard to believe, but it shows the blindness, the lack of vision that people have about what they're actually doing. Satan's keeping them ramped up in all this activity, and I guess that's what you were looking at.
Yeah, there's so much darkness. The kids are growing up these days. Video games, it's all about war and killing. And the TV shows, the vampires, the werewolves, the zombies, it's just death and death and death and sickness. And then it goes into all the, even darker stuff when it comes to the flesh. What people want to do. And that's what this law is all about. Reading the scriptures, it's all about lust. These people, I saw a headline saying, "Love wins," the other day, and it's not love. They don't know love. Yahweh is love. They don't love Him. They don't care about His authority. They don't care about His law. They don't care about what He says. They don't love Him. They don't know love. They don't know it's lust. They're using love
too. The gays and the lesbians are saying, God is love, and if He's love, how could He condemn what we're doing?
They don't know love. This is all lust. They want to do with their flesh what they want to do with their flesh.
Lovers of themselves.
They transpose lust for love. The judge is doing this to the entirety of America. It's the 21st nation to do this. The number 21 in Ed Vallow's book, Biblical Mathematics, it actually says that it is the exceeding sinfulness of sin. And I just found that very interesting. On top of that, the law was given, or the judgment was given, and it's to be 21 days until I should say the opponents have 21 days to form a secondary argument against this law, but it's to be 3 weeks, 21 days until it goes into effect.
3 sevens.
And 21 means the exceeding sinfulness of sin. So I just, moving on to sort of a subject that I find connected to that, is that this is a judgment by judges. They made a judgment to do this to America. Right. And it just so happens that we are in a Shemitah year, which is the 7th year of a 7-year period.
Right.
And that it's the year of judgment. And if we look back, Mark Biltz said in his book that when the Shoemaker-Levy comet broke into 21 fragments and hit Jupiter, that he said that the Ruach was telling him that in 21 years something big was going to happen. And we've seen that 21 years split up into 3 sevens. 7 years after the Shoemaker-Levy comet broke into 21 fragments, the 7th year was a year of judgment, and that is when 9/11 happened and the Twin Towers fell as a judgment, a warning. And this is all Rabbi Jonathan Cahn's work. And of course, there was an economic collapse with that. Right. 7 years from that, the 7th year, a Shemitah year, a year of judgment, 2008.
2008.
It happened again.
Right.
And then 7 years from 2008, a Shemitah year, the year of judgment. We're here right now. The connection to that is a very specific day. It's called Elul 29. It's the last day of the Jewish calendar, and it happens right before the Feast of Trumpets. It's the last day of the year. It's like on our Gregorian calendar, it's New Year's Eve. And
Elul 29 is always, it's kind of famous, isn't it, as a date throughout history?
Well, Rabbi Jonathan Cahn's work will explain all of that in greater detail. But we're seeing it's supposed to be a blessing. It's supposed to be a time of renewal, that all debts are forgiven. Right. It's a much bigger subject than we want to go into here. But if his laws are not abided by, it turns into a curse. And of course, we're going completely the wrong direction, and it's been a curse. We've had warnings 14 years ago.
And isn't this a greater time of judgment, not only because 2015 is a Shemitah year, the last year of the 7-year Shemitah cycle, but also because this Shemitah cycle and this Shemitah year is the close of 7 Shemitahs.
49 years.
7 squared, 49 years. So we're expecting even greater judgment than what usually comes in a Shemitah year. Right. It's like the big finale. Right. Until the Jubilee year. And connected to that, we are in the blood moon tetrad. That has obvious connections. Right. You've seen probably Mark Biltz's work on that. Many people have been talking about that for a while. I've been doing it since 2011, talking about this. And, these tetrads are connected to Israel on very specific festivals. They are appointments. And that doesn't happen. These eclipses don't happen again the way that they've happened in the past. When Israel came back in their land as a nation in one day, prophesied, fulfilled. They got Jerusalem back, prophesied, fulfilled. Tetrad. What's going to happen now? I've been saying for years and years that most likely they're going to get more land again because they keep creeping in on getting their land back, possibly a temple being rebuilt. And we are in this tetrad right now, and we've got a finale. Pardon me, but getting land back, we're looking at Psalm 83, which is, I believe, is going to be the next major event. Right. Everything is coming together. Everything is coming together. We're looking at Isaiah 17, all the word about Damascus happening. And there's not another tetrad for how many years? 500 years. We don't have another tetrad to fall on the appointed times. Right. And it's not over yet.
We've got a finale blood moon. That is a supermoon. That is a moon that is at its closest time of the month to the Earth, which makes it look bigger. That falls on an actual full moon. That full moon actually falls on a full lunar eclipse. That full lunar eclipse happens on a feast day. That full lunar eclipse is a super blood moon that rises over Jerusalem.
Well, boy.
And that's the finale of the tetrad.
And we're looking right at it.
That's coming up. It's coming up soon. And right before that is another eclipse. It's a partial solar eclipse that happens right on Elul 29.
Boy, oh boy.
So,
You know, Scotty, I'm so happy, man, that you decided to do this with me. Do you have any more to add to that?
oh, I'm sure we can do this again sometime.
Yeah, we could do this for another hour, but, you know, I just want to thank you so much, man. I'm sure everyone watching and listening feels the same way. And Abba willing, this is the first of many more to come. Again, thank you for joining me joining with me on this one, my friend.
Hey, Alan, can I add one last thing?
Sure, man.
You know, as it says in Matthew and Mark and in Luke, that in the end times, it will be as in the days of Noah and Lot.
Yeah.
We talked about Sodom and Gomorrah. We know Lot was in there. That's the nephew of Abraham. Abraham argued for a little bit with Yahweh about will he actually destroy those cities if there are 50 righteous? Yahweh said, no. For the righteous sake, I won't. He said 45. No, I won't destroy the righteous. 40. No. 30. No. 20. No. 10. No. He will not destroy the righteous with the wicked. And so he sent messengers to get Lot out because he was righteous. And in 1 Corinthians 1:30, I think it says, you know, Yeshua is our righteousness. We are not righteous in and of ourselves, but because we believe in him, because we have his blood covering us, we are righteous. So my hope is that if this situation plays out similarly, that we will be taken. That we will be taken before the judgment, the real judgment, the destruction comes upon us. And as you and I both know and believe, it makes so much sense that the Feast of Trumpets, which is the next couple of days after Elul 29,
Yom Teruah.
It's coming.
Yeshua Tzikenu. That's our righteousness. And, you know, I've never been so hopeful that this Yom Teruah is Abba Father's Moed, his Kodesh appointment to bring those whom he has chosen as a gift for his son home. Of course, you know, we can't get hung up on trying to own it, but boy, oh boy, this looks like it, and I really am very hopeful that it is it. I can't wait to go home and see the glory of his Malchut, his kingdom, and what we get to enjoy forever with no more darkness. I'm, very eager to go home. I hope it is this year.
Yeah, we're not prophesying anything. People take this stuff out of context. They see a video and they think, you said... No, we're not saying anything.
We're just hopeful, man.
We're hopeful. We're just hopeful. We're seeing signs being put together. We're trying to make sense of it. That's all this is. And we're just hopeful to go home.